All right, guys, welcome back to Blerd Matt 365. Today I'm back with a new segment called the Blerd Conversation. Pretty much the Blerd Conversation is going to be a little bit different from the previous solo live streams I've done. Honestly, I want to try something different, refreshing, where I interact with my community on here. So Blerd Conversation could be different topics. It will not always be the same topics. And today's is something that may help us nostalgicness when it comes down to it, or reminiscing about it. What do we miss about the 80s, 90s, and the mid 2000s? Because I know some of my subscribers are born in the 80s, like I am. I'm born in the late 80s, the last of the 80s, all right? And I know people are born in the 90s and then 2000s, right? So when I talk about this, I'm just asking maybe fashion that you missed from that particular era, maybe the music, maybe stores, maybe certain foods. What is something that you really miss? So the first thing for me is certain stores. There was a store that came out in the 90s, Media Play. Media Play was one of those places that I was amazed by because not only did it introduce me to things, it had a nice amount of different things in there. They had manga, music, food, you know what I'm saying, DVDs, all types of stuff, posters. Media Play was definitely one of my favorite places to go during the time. I know I went during the early 2000s. I was late to it and I didn't go into it in the 90s, but Media Play was that place, man. I miss Kmart. Yeah, Texas Fitness. I miss Kmart too. Yeah, Kmart. Oh man, I remember I used to go to Kmart and they used to have the pizza inside their place and stuff. Yeah, Kmart, man. Wow, you took it back. Yeah, Kmart for sure. Yeah, definitely. I do miss Kmart. Another place is I don't know if you guys remember Suncoast, Sam Goody. That was back in the malls. Man, I miss those places. Like Sam Goody and Suncoast were pretty much on a similar scale to FYE that's out right now. And I mean, you could go listen to the music. I know in FYE, there used to be a time where you could just sit and listen to the music and stuff. Thought that was dope. But Sam Goody and Sam Coast had those deals on the DVDs. I remember getting Street Fighters 2, the Blu-ray. No, not the Blu-ray, the DVD, excuse me, the DVD. And I mean, the deals were in there that were really good. I was like, yo, I do miss Sam Goody, Suncoast. I think the last thing, Sears. Sears is a good one. Sears is definitely a good one. That's where I used to get all my graphic tees from back in the day was Sears, low key. Like Sears had them deals. I knew one of my college classmates worked at Sears, and I remember, just going to Sears. Sounds worse. Worse. Can you hear me? Because like I said, I'm trying to figure out, like, yeah, this has been a while. I usually do it with headphones, but if you can't hear me, let me know. But yeah, those are some of the places. Another thing that I do miss, that was a staple, a part of my childhood. I don't know if you guys remember Toys R Us. Boy, Toys R Us was one of those things. I remember going, and if my report card was decent, we would go to Toys R Us, get different things. I remember getting Mega Man from Toys R Us. That was like the Mega Man series that I wasn't my favorite, but I actually get Mega Man from there. Got some of the N64 games and everything. But yeah, man, I'm telling you. Something else that I do miss is Blockbusters. Blockbusters was also a place where you go rent DVDs, video games. And I remember some of the Fridays. I remember back then, that was a thing we would do. Go to Blockbuster Videos, go rent, one of the movies that's out on, physical release and stuff like that. Blockbuster was very atmospheric. You know what I'm saying? You got the stuff for the kids, stuff for the parents and stuff. Within the store, they sold blankets, popcorn, beverages. I'll never forget the last time I went to Blockbuster. Yes, we call this Sound Warehouse. Oh, okay, got you. Okay. So I remember the last time I went to Blockbuster, story time. So I went to Blockbusters and we had just got out of church. And I remember going to Blockbuster, didn't know it was going to be the last time. You know what I'm saying? And I got The Matrix, the very first Matrix movie that came out. I got it on DVD. Not thinking, excuse me, not thinking that it would be the last time going in there. I went in there, spent my money, and I was like, oh, I got my movie, the first Matrix movie. I had like the other two movies. I didn't have the first one. And I remember like we went back to Blockbuster, right? And it's not the one that's in like the city that I used to live in, but like the city, like where my grandparents lived at, like not too far from there. And I remember going back and I was like, wow, that was the time when Blockbusters was closing up. Like they were already closing up in my state, but like that was the last one. That was the last of the Mohegans. I was like, yo. So when we went, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like that was the last time I actually stepped foot inside a Blockbuster store. It's interesting, man. You know, kids don't even know what Blockbuster is. Kids don't even know what Hollywood Videos is. Hollywood Video was nice too. Now, I will say about Hollywood Video, what I really liked about it was pretty much they had this section called Game Crazy, similar to a GameStop, right? But they had better prices on stuff. I was so sad when they closed. Yeah. So, like, literally, when I went in there, I'm like, oh, what's this Game Crazy about? And when I went to the back section of the store, I said, oh, like this is like their whole video game area. You can buy video games, controllers, game charts, all that type of stuff. And I mean, the prices were really nice. Like I said, they gave you more money at Game Crazy than they did GameStop. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That was something where I'm like, man, I do miss Hollywood Videos. I picked up a couple videos from Hollywood Videos. Not a lot, but Blockbuster was my main one. But now if I went to go trade in games or maybe controllers or a console, Game Crazy was that spot. Game trade, I miss game. Yeah, you know what? Going to GameStop in recent years, you don't really see people trade in as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's just me going and I don't go often enough. But the last couple times I went to GameStop, no one was trading games. People were just straight up buying games, new or either just buying consoles. They weren't buying like a used thing or something like that. And maybe because trading is not, I don't know, maybe it's not making as much money. Because I don't know if you guys know, GameStop is going through some stuff again, like another bankruptcy or something like that. And I'm like, boy, GameStop stay getting saved. Yeah, I miss, you know what it is? I miss Funko Land. Funko Land was that spot. It didn't last long, but it sure was fun going in there trading in games and stuff like that. And I remember when I went back, because this Funko Land had turned into a GameStop. Another thing I miss, and I guess you could say this is more dealing with media. I remember 106 in Park. I don't know if you guys remember 106 in Park with AJ and Free. Yo, that was the best version of 106 in Park where they ranked the videos. Yeah, like the number 1, the number 5 video. I thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? I like because you got a chance to see artists that were new and upcoming or artists that you were already familiar with. And then you had the new joint of the day. That was another thing that I liked about 106 in Park. Also, I miss what's the name? What's the other show they had on there? Rap City. Rap City was my stuff, yo. Like, I don't know. BET had a nice run with those shows. I think with 106 in Park, that what kind of hurt it to some degree was actually more so when they start to swap out the host a bit too much, right? We know AJ and Free was there for the first half of 106 in Park. Then we got Terrence and Rossi, and then I want to say Jaleesa was involved to the one young lady. And then we had Bow Wow and Angela Simmons. It seemed like when they started to like swap out these people that be on their show, that's when things started to maybe be on the decline with it. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the music videos was what I used to come for. You know what I'm saying? The music videos, because back then, music videos told a story. You know what I'm saying? Like you got maybe this song's connected to another song, but then you'll see it that it say be continued, or it'll overlap into something like that. So yeah, I missed 106 in Park, the original with AJ and Free. I saw the other versions of it with Rossi and Terrence J. Then they had Bow Wow, Angela Simmons, and there was another young lady too. But I think it just wasn't the same. Also, I really like the Freestyle Fridays. Yeah, BT has went through some changes. You know, over the years, you would think that we would eventually see another 106 in Park. But I don't know if we'll have the same impact on live television. Maybe streaming. Like if they did like maybe have it on, you know, BT's website and they did live streaming for it, who knows? Anything's possible, right? The other thing I missed too is the commercials, man. I think the 90s and the early 2000s had some really good commercials. Like they used to just reel you in. You know what I'm saying? You had commercials. I remember the Super Smash Brothers commercial. Downright hilarious. I miss MySpace, Facebook when it came over. Okay. You know what? I never had MySpace. A good buddy of mine's had it. I seen what it was like. I don't know if you remember Black Planet. Black Planet was another one that another friend of mine's had. But yeah, MySpace. Now I had Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I miss old Facebook. I'm not gonna lie to you guys on this. I felt like old Facebook was cool. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have all these unnecessary features and all that stuff. And maybe because that was the first social media app that I ever used. But old Facebook, hey, was nice. You know what I'm saying? Now with new Facebook, it's a little weird. I've been on Facebook like, what was that, a few months back, just to see what's going on there. I don't really be on there like that. I call it family book because that's what it's become. Like, yes, you can still, add your friends on there, parents or, siblings or cousins, whatever the case it may be. But it's more family based now. Some of the things I was seeing with Facebook, like now people can just follow you. You don't even have to add them as a friend. That's kind of strange to me. I said, what are you doing with Facebook? You're copying Twitter and Threads and all these other social media platforms. That's how I really feel about it. But Facebook, man, it's interesting. Definitely interesting to see the changes that it once was. Not to say it's not still a popular app, by the way, but yeah, like Facebook has definitely been something where I'm like, wow, I never expected Facebook to go this direction. But, over time, social media does evolve. We've seen it in most cases. Some things we love about it, some things we don't. I miss HawkShare. HawkShare was something that I used to download music off of. I think the last thing I downloaded off HawkShare was a J. Cole mixtape where he was under his old rap name, the Therapist, excuse me. And I gotta say that was the last time I used HawkShare. I don't even know if it's still around anymore. I mean, it was a good way of downloading music. I mean, if an artist had a mixtape that they had out, all you had to do is go to HawkShare, download the file, and it had the picture, the song titles, and everything. And that was something I really didn't miss. Also, I know you guys, if you are familiar, if you grew up in the area I grew up in, remember Das Piff? Das Piff, live mixtapes. Das Piff is no longer around. Ain't that crazy? Where you used to download all the mixtapes like the Lil Wayne, the Meek Mill, Dreamville. You know what I'm saying? Mixtapes, whether it was J. Cole, Meek Mill, Big Sean, Kendrick. A lot of those artists I came across on either Das Piff or live mixtapes. Live mixtapes are still around. I don't think it's the same anymore. I don't really see the traction it used to have. I've been on there like maybe a few years ago. It's still around, but man, Das Piff was that was an error. And I remember with Das Piff, when it came to mixtapes, they'll have the exclusives. Like certain artists will only put their mixtape out on this particular platform. I thought it was really cool that Das Piff kind of had the sponsored by Das Piff. It was a good mixtape website right along with live mixtapes. I guess after a while, things change and maybe people were more into streaming during that time. So that could be why it didn't really last as long because people were streaming. You can stream mixtapes now. You can stream albums. You can stream EPs. So, yeah, I mean, Das Piff was my go-to. Das Piff, live mixtapes. What was the other one? There was another website that I used. I think it Fashionably Late. Yeah, that one was good too when it came to mixtapes as well. But yeah, it's interesting how music now, and this is why I kind of really miss buying physicals. Like I still buy physicals when it comes to CDs, but it's like certain artists. Like you may have an artist that you really like, but they have a limited CD release. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, I like this artist, but man, they ain't got that many CDs. And nowadays, you just streaming. Don't get me wrong, you still buy albums if you want, right? But I miss the era where you could buy physicals. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to my cousin's record store at the time, and I would go pick up CDs here and there. I remember buying some of the Nas music from there, some of Tupac's music as well. Even J. Cole's first debut album, by the way. Yeah, I miss just going to the record store, man. Like we still have record stores around, don't get me wrong. But it's not really like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them are still around, or just they're the smaller smaller versions of a record store. But the record store's still around, but I think people are just more streaming. Like I said, streaming grew on me. I wasn't hopping on the wagon when it came to download music at first. But I like streaming. You know what I'm saying? Streaming has definitely been a thing for me. I'm glad that it's around. But do I miss buying physicals? Because, like, of course, there are artists I really like, and I'm like, I would love to buy physical, but like I said, sometimes now with this, they only have a limited supply because the artist may have an actual shop when it comes down to it. But yeah, I gotta admit, it's definitely interesting to see that music is still around. Like I said, it's crazy. Remember when CDs used to come out during a time, literally on Tuesdays? Remember when music used to come out on Tuesdays, y'all? You go to like Target, Circuit City, Best Buy to go pick up the latest release. Now, mainly a lot of stuff is released on Friday. I kind of miss when stuff was released on Tuesdays, especially when it comes to movies, music, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So interesting, very interesting that some of this stuff has changed, and that's totally fine. I'm not like, oh man, I hate the idea of it. It's like, well, I do kind of miss certain things that happened when you did these things. Restaurants. Let's talk about restaurants, y'all. So, one of my favorite Italian restaurants, and it's not even around anymore in my state. They closed two of my favorite Italian restaurants. I really like Johnny Carino's. Best Italian food ever. And I was surprised it closed. They had like 3 locations in my state. All 3 locations closed. I don't know if the pandemic did it or what, or was it bad money management? Another place I miss that used to be open is no other than, let me see, what's the name of that one? Macaroni Grill. Macaroni Grill had good Italian food too. All right. Went there for my birthday, went there when it wasn't my birthday. I'm like, okay, well, Italian food definitely is something that it's one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like I don't like Italian food because I like Italian food. But I miss going there, to those places. It's unfortunate that neither one are in my state anymore. But the times I went, they had some really good Italian food. I always took my chicken Alfredo. And if I didn't get, I would get as an appetizer mozzarella cheese sticks. And I mean, Johnny Carino had the best mozzarella cheese sticks for an Italian restaurant during that time. They were nice, bit-sized cheese sticks. You know what I'm saying? You got your ranch there. You got your marinara on the other side. that was something that was really cool. So I really think that honestly, Johnny Carino's is missed. Macaroni Grill is missed too. That Macaroni Grill has some good desserts. I gotta admit, it definitely has some good desserts when it comes down to it. And that's the thing. Like I said, there are things I do miss. The other thing I miss too when it comes to it is video games. All right, so let me talk about this. This is the new era of video games, or I say new age. I remember when you used to go to the store and you would buy a video game, it was the full game. I do kind of miss that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Now you get the game, and no offense to anybody, I'm not shading video games. I really enjoy playing video games. Nowadays, you buy a video game and it's not the full game. Yeah, not the full game. And I'm like, so y'all telling me the game is $50, right? $60, but yet it's not the full game. And I'm like, back in the day when we had a full game, you paid a decent amount for it. Also, what I miss about gaming, cartridges. I miss blowing on cartridges and stuff like that, excuse me, because that was fun. Compared to having to clean a disc to make sure that it works, all you got to do is blow that cartridge. You have to blow that cartridge, make sure it is getting the dust out and everything. I mean, we used to blow hard on them cartridges on that Super Nintendo. But I miss the days when that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, because like I said, DLCs is the new thing, or additional content as they call it as well. But I do miss the era where we got a full version game, fully packed, didn't have to wait on no DLC for no next year or maybe next month. I gotta admit it's definitely different. It hit different. It's just something where I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but it's definitely odd that gaming has changed. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the DLCs, sometimes, it's fun to wait on them because you know what you're going to get invested into. Sometimes you're like, man, I wish y'all would have just made the full game for me. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. But yeah, I do miss those aspects of gaming. Like I said, cartridges. I'm glad Nintendo went back to cartridges. I'm like, everybody else got the disc. And like I said, after a while, you have to clean off the disc because sometimes the disc get dirty inside the actual plastic container that the game is in. But with a cartridge, all you gotta do is just blow it, stick it in. That's all you gotta do. Super Nintendo pop right up. You know what I'm saying? Or Sega Genesis, whatever console you had. I know I was a Super Nintendo for quite a while. I ended up going to PlayStation and even Xbox. But I do miss, like I said, the simple things. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a full game, blowing cartridges. Whoever's in the chat, y'all, what do y'all miss about the 80s, 90s, 2000s? What's going on, Harris? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Yeah, let me know, bro. What do you miss about the 90s, 80s, if you were born in the early 80s or mid 80s, or maybe the mid 2000s. But I hope everything's good with you, man. Like I said, it is the weekend. This is something I'm trying out. Yeah. So, so like I said, we talked about Kmart, media play, gaming, music, BT. But yeah, let me know what some of the things that you have in mind. Also, we talked about eateries too. There were some eateries as well. When games were finished or releasing it. We'll talk about that now. Yeah, we can talk about that now. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I do miss those, man. I miss and also, you know what? Now that you mention it, I miss when games didn't have all these bugs. It seemed like nowadays you play a game be all glitched up, your character don't move or just pause on you. And I wish Hip Hop Tracks were longer. in minutes. Yeah, man. Yeah. Music, man, has changed drastically. I was talking about earlier when it came to music. Just pretty much going to the actual CD store, go pick up some music, whether it's a regular, record store or just like a place like a media play or a Best Buy or something like that. I miss going to pick up physical CDs. Like I still buy them, of course, but it don't come out until like maybe the year after they released it streaming wise. When it comes down to it. But yeah, longer tracks, man. I don't know, man. I like some. There are some artists, I'll admit, where their music, they make short music, but it's really good. But then there's some artists that make long form music where it's hip hop and they make good tracks. I think the last, who would I say has some long tracks? I would say Sam Goody at the mall. It's when I got Get Rich or Die Trying. Yeah, I remember going to Target and picking up T.I.'s Grand Hustle well, not Grand Hustle album, Urban Legend. Excuse me, Urban Legend. T.I.'s Urban Legend album. Picking that up from Target in the documentary, his best album out of his catalog. But yeah, that's Urban Legend. I remember picking that up. I was like, man, I remember all the little tracks on there. He had that track produced by David Banner on there that was nice. Countdown. He had the song with Jay-Z, Bring 'Em Out. Motivation. Yo, I remember seeing a commercial for it. Remember when CDs had like legit commercials to promote the music? You don't see that as often anymore. It's kind of crazy. I remember Urban Legend too. Yeah, man. Urban Legend. Yeah, man. I think that was the first introduction to T.I.'s music because a friend of mine at the time had an iPod and I was listening to him on the iPod, like just a couple different tracks. It wasn't all his music. Like he was featuring on some stuff. I'm like, who's this guy? He's like, oh, this is T.I. I was familiar with Ludacris. But I gave T.I. a chance. Like I said, T.I. is definitely one of those artists. I remember seeing the commercials like when Urban Legend came out and T.I.'s King album. Man, I miss when artists did commercials for their albums on TV. Like they do trailers online, which is totally fine. I'm not against that. But it's like a lost art. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what happened to y'all just throwing a commercial out, talk about the hit songs on there, who featured on there? So I remember when Lil Wayne Carter 3 came out. The commercial was crazy, yo. I like the commercial. It actually catered to the CD. But yeah, commercials, man, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's not a complete lost art with commercials. It's just that artists now do trailers for their albums. I know, who was that? Wale just did a trailer for his album that's coming out in November. I'm like, okay, I like trailers. It's different to see an artist do that. I expect that from a movie. But if the trailer is something that really catches my eye, or I'm just like, yo, this is it, I'll say invest. I think the Wale's trailer for his next album was very interesting, I will say, because it seems like the music that he's going to be putting out next month is going to be talking about what's going on in the current times, what we're going through, right? So I feel like it's going to be, I'm not going to say super political, but it may have some political type of music within it, dealing with what's going on currently in the US. So, and then also just him being vulnerable as an artist. That's another thing I got from the trailer. And maybe even his vices, because he kind of does talk about his vices to being, I guess you consider a celebrity to a degree. But I guess the trailer did kind of sum up what I'm looking to see from the album. Not saying that it may not be the exact thing for maybe the one thing, but it felt like it's going to be more him being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? This is his first Def Jam debut because he's no longer signed to Rick Ross, Maybach Music. He's signed to Def Jam now. So I just hope it's a decent album. You know what I'm saying? Also, Leon Thomas did the same thing with this new album. It was a trailer. It had Issa Rae on there. I was like, this is really cool. You know what I'm saying? If the trailer thing is working, why not? But I missed when we had commercials. I think the commercials were, I don't know, maybe a little bit more interesting because they put more money into it. Maybe even learning about who's on the album. So yeah, I don't know. I grew up on the commercials. In another commercial that I seen, it never made it. It was a Mary J. Blige commercial years ago. Good commercial, by the way. I just guess maybe they didn't want to release the commercial because it did feel kind of, it was odd because it was her actual song, but just the instrumental over it and her singing about chicken. So I'm like, maybe she was like, hey, you know what? I get my paycheck. That's it. I don't want this commercial to ever come out. I don't know what the deal was. But yeah, commercials, man. Like even there was a commercial. I'm trying to remember the Pokemon commercial. I don't know if you guys remember the Pokemon commercial where you're playing the games on the Game Boy Color, and you see the Pokemon just literally coming out the actual thing, and they're just like on like the actual cityscape and stuff like that. Yeah, commercials, man, they get so creative with it. It's just like, yo, they figure out these things. Oh, this will appeal to the kids. This will appeal to the adults or whoever is interested in these type of things. And I think that's kind of neat. Definitely neat when they have commercials that can reel in the audience. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, even movie commercials. You know what I'm saying? Some of the commercials they have for movies and stuff. But yeah, another thing I miss about the 90's, I would say, I don't know, maybe this some of the movies. You know, movies have changed over the years. Not to say I don't hate new movies at all. Maybe just the way movies came out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be a high budget movie, it could be a low budget movie. And also just me going to movies. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the movie theaters have kind of packed up. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Like the movie theaters are still around. I don't see many people going as often. I think only time I see a crowd for certain movies, if it's a particular story, maybe a character, or maybe just a particular movie that is appealing to people. But yeah, even this goes back to commercials again. I remember when movies would come out on DVD, you would see a commercial for it. You don't see commercials like that anymore. So I'm like, the era of them doing that, I guess, kind of just dwindled down and said, look, you can get that, on YouTube. You can get that on other platforms to let you know when the movie's coming out. But it is a bit different than what it used to be. But I've accepted it. I'm like, okay, maybe this is not the direction they're going to go in. And now with everything streaming, you can see the commercials through the ads. Let's talk about what else do I miss about it. Let's talk about the 2000s. All right. So for you people, and this is just hip hop right here. SL. I remember when the SL did the freshman covers. And don't get me wrong, freshman covers for the SL for the next upcoming hip hop classes when it comes to artists that are new and stuff like that. It's not the same anymore. Like the last cover, the only two people I liked on there was Ray Vine from TDE. He was really good, by the way. He's actually a dope artist on TDE. He kind of reminds me of Kendrick in some ways, not completely, but just in a few ways, right? And also Samara Sin. Excuse me. Why am I saying? Yeah, Samara. I hope I'm saying it right. Samara Sin. Those were the only two freshmen on the cover that were decent. The other ones, I'm like, I don't really know who these people are. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when the freshman cover came out, and this was the talk of the town at work because people were music fans back then. Where we talked about the freshman cover. Remember the freshman cover with Lupe Fiasco, Freddie Gibbs, Currency, Nipsey Hussle, J-Rock. What's the other guy name? I can't think of the guy's name. He passed away. He's from New York. Can't think of my man's name. Dude passed away. And I'm like, this is a solid freshman cover. And now the next freshman cover had Kendrick on it. Also, J. Cole was on that first one too, by the way. I miss when we had an era of the freshman cover where people were excited about. You know what I'm saying? When you hear people talk about the SL now, they're like, oh, it ain't about nothing. Now, people that thought that should have got the SL for freshmen as artists, SB. I definitely believe SB got snubbed. He got snubbed real bad. Dude was the most consistent Midwest nerdcore rapper. Dude is dope. Still around, but the freshman cover did him dirty. I'm like, yo, y'all could have gave SB that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have been up there with J. Cole. I mean, he worked with some of those cats on the cover. That's the crazy thing about it. I'm like, SB didn't make the freshman cover? Nah. Another artist I think that should have made the freshman cover, and it's like years later, is John Connor. Used to be signed to Dr. Dre. He ended up going back indie. Still putting out dope music. He's a Midwest artist. I was checked out for everybody during the period of 2010 and after that. Yeah, man. The covers, man, it started to just, it's not the same. They used to have people that were talented on the covers. I mean, with Kendrick's freshman covers, he used to went after J. Cole's. You had YG on there, OJ the Juice Man. Who else was on that cover? Diggy. Diggy was nice. People were sleeping on Diggy, but Diggy was like the Nez. He's like the Nez version school of like a Lupe Fiasco from Run's house. Yeah, Rev Run's son, the youngest. Dude was nice. Diggy. Who else was on that cover, man? Lil Twist was on there from Lil Wayne. You know, I was like, Lil Twist? There's certain artists on there I'm like, nah. But Kendrick made the cover. Kendrick is funny because he was there. A lot of people don't know. He was there when the first freshman cover came out. He thought he was going to actually, because I guess he thought J. Cole wasn't going to make it to the actual freshman shoot for it. And he was literally like, look, I'll fill in for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, Kendrick, boy. That'd have been interesting. Kendrick would have took his spot like, yo, I'm so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? But I guess Kendrick like, nah, you know, my time is next year. But he was well-deserved as a freshman cover. You know what I'm saying? Him being on there with the other artists and stuff. I want to say Big Sean might have been on there. I know. Meek Mill. Meek Mill was actually on the freshman cover with Kendrick too. So Diggy was nice. I don't know if he still puts out music or not. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to, I was like, Diggy definitely had potential. Saha was on there too. Yeah, Saha. Saha was nice. He was definitely one of those artists from Kanye's label Good Music. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I really like Big Sean from Good Music, but Saha was nice. He was a different type of nice. Yeah, but the freshman covers start to change in a way where I wasn't really invested in like going to pick up a magazine and reading about the artist type of thing. But I mean, my favorite list would be the first one because I do like Freddie. Freddie is definitely nice. J. Cole, of course. Nipsey was definitely a dope artist too. Lupe making it was dope to see him on a freshman cover. Like I think he had a couple of albums. Like he drops mixtapes. Don't get me wrong. And also Ross artist was on there. What's the guy's name? Peel was on there. Yeah, it's just interesting. Over time, things change, and you realize, like, well, you know, the cover's not what it used to be. You know, the next thing I want to talk about that I miss from the 2000s, man, do I have to bring it up? TVs. Remember when you used to be able to one hand or two hand your TV? TVs now you gotta actually make sure that you're able to hold both sides up on your TV. TVs were lighter back then. TVs now, some of them are heavy bats. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, you know, they're smart TVs. But yeah, TVs back in the day, boy, you know, like I said, man, they definitely changed. DVD players now with DVD players, and for the people that don't know, you have to have Wi-Fi for your DVD player to work. Ain't that crazy? When you think about it, it's like, look, I bought this DVD player, and you have to integrate it with the Wi-Fi in order to play the DVDs. I remember what DVD player didn't need Wi-Fi. So yeah, TVs were, like I said, they were solid, but they were able to. They didn't, you didn't have to worry about the screen cracking or nothing like that. But yeah, picking up TVs, you know what I'm saying, and just television. Television's changed, you know what I'm saying. Now it's more streaming. I miss when it was actual cable networks, you know what I'm saying, or just channels. I said channels in general. Now everything is streaming. You can watch TV show, you can pause it when you want to pause it. I mean, I don't mind that. It's growing on me, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to certain stuff, like, okay, I may have to run to the bathroom to go watch a TV show, you know what I'm saying? But let me pause it and get back to that part of the particular TV show or movie. Another thing I miss is remember back in the day, AOL, dial-up internet. That was heck. That was wild. That was a wild time. It worked though, AOL, man. Remember that? I'm taking it back, y'all. This is a throwback right here. I mean, dial-up internet. Who'd have thought? Now we got internet that got all this crazy Wi-Fi. DVD menus were more creative back then too. Yeah, man. DVD menus, you're right. You absolutely right. Yeah, you get the behind the scenes. While the voice actors did this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, DVDs have some really good menus. What is it? Unreleased music with it or whatever it is they have in the DVD menus. Or they may have like songs that didn't make the movie or just commentary, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I remember when I got the Batman Beyond or either Justice League DVD that I showed in one of my other videos. And I remember them talking about how they came up with the episodes and kind of just the direction they were going into for the DC animated stuff during that time. I'm not going to lie. Since we're talking about it now, I missed the era of DC with their animated stuff, man. DC had a nice run, all right? I think Batman Mask of Phantasm was the very start when it came to DC animated universe. And then they started to do all these other movies. Like most of them were really good. You had some bad ones too, don't get me wrong. But DC, boy, they was on a run, all right? Like Marvel should have did that with their movies. They should have kept doing more Marvel movies with different Marvel characters. DC was ahead of the curve. They're like, hey, strike. But yeah, Batman Mask of Phantasm. Then we end up having other DC animated movies. And like I said, there have been quite a bit of them. And like I said, I got a nice variety of a collection of them. We got The Watchmen, you know what I'm saying? Got Justice League versus the Legion of Doom, really good movie. Batman Return to the Joker, which is Batman Beyond. Was the Batman Sub-Zero with Mr. Freeze? You know what I'm saying? The Batman movie with Batwoman. But yeah, DC definitely had a lot of good DVD releases. Even their Green Lantern movie with was it Hodges that played Hawkman in Black Adam? He's voicing John Stewart's Green Lantern. That movie was really good. I know we're not getting a sequel for it, but boy, I wish they would have did a sequel because that movie was fantastic. Like I watched it from start to finish. I was like, I like the story. I like what they did with Hal Jordan and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, DC. DC was locked in, boy. Yeah, I miss their era when they had a lot of their stuff. They're still putting out stuff. I hope they put out, Batman Mask. Was it Cape Crusader? Excuse me, I said Mask Crusader. Cape Crusader season 1. Like, I'm looking for that. I'm like, I looked on Amazon. I'm like, when y'all dropping the physical for that? Because I want that on DVD. Another thing that I miss from the early 2000s, if you got a thing as well, whether it's 80s or 90s or mid 2000s, I miss when they had a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, I like some of the TV shows. It's like got like a darker element to it. The sitcoms, I kind of miss those. I mean, Fresh Prince, I can go back and watch over and over again. Fresh Prince is like one of my favorite shows. The reboot is decent. I'm not gonna lie, the reboot is decent. I'm not gonna act like it's not. But it's a darker take on Will and Carlton. I'm Viv, Uncle Phil, Carlton, you know what I'm saying? Sitcoms just were a thing back then, you know what I'm saying? 90s, 2000s, like I said, I was an 80s kid, 89. Wayne Brothers was on point too. I used to watch the Wayne Brothers. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Like, yeah, we had a lot more sitcoms. When it comes down to it. Another thing too, the ticket prices were cheaper. Remember going to the movies, the ticket prices were a bit cheaper than what it is now. Jamie Foxx show, yeah, I used to watch that too. Jamie Foxx show, Bernie Mac show, Bernie Mac show, that was really good. Bernie Mac, I tell you, that's my mom's favorite sitcom from like the 2000s. Bernie Mac show. I mean, it was really good. I liked how the show was written, how the episodes were presented and everything. But yeah, man. Oh, you know, I just thought about it. I do miss reality TV. Okay, so let me be real with y'all. At some point in time, Blerd 365 liked reality TV. I do to some degree now, but I'll explain. So I miss shows like what is the show? Pimp My Ride. Even though the show was capped, you know what I'm saying? It used to be up fire, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it used to be like going to the movies, you would want to go more, you know what I'm saying? $5, $4, you know what I'm saying? Don't let your homeboy work at the movie theaters or you getting that discount. And a homeboy that worked at the movies. I didn't know he worked at the movies. With me and my homeboy, we went to the movies. He's like, ain't that so-and-so? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's brother. I'm like, what? Flavor of Love, yeah, Flavor of Love, man. That was one of my favorite reality TV shows. That, Hit My Ride, Cribs. Cribs was another one, you know, it was fake too. What's the other one? I'm trying to figure out the name of the show. Oh, DMS Soul of a Man. Did you see that, Aries? That was my show, yo. Because you know, it's in a few times. Yeah, we've been there, man. I did that one time. Yeah, man. But yeah, DMS, I think his show was really good. It was unscripted. It was raw. DMS, like, you know, DMS. One thing I can admit about DMS, like, it was his life story. His life, how he did things, how he operated as a person, and you can't even find the show on BT anymore. I remember people asking me, like, DMS had a TV show? I'm like, yeah, it was actually really good. I think it only had like one season or two seasons. That was it. I guess BT said, oh, no, we ain't pumping no more money into DMS. Yeah, but DMS had a wild show, boy. I was like, boys, some of that stuff I was seeing, like, it's on BT. Low key, man. I was like, man. Yeah, Flavor of Love, I used to watch that. Black Ink, that was another show that I enjoyed. That show was great. DMS was unapologetic himself. Yes, agreed. Fast, Aries. I'm glad. I tell other people about this. I'm like, DMS had a TV show? Like, yeah. Like, it was really good. I think because it was unscripted, you know what I'm saying? So he was able to be his authentic self. And I think that's probably why BT like, oh, we ain't putting no more money into this, man. Like, nah, because it's unscripted. He's telling his truth. He's speaking his truth. He do some wild stuff in some new episodes. We ain't gonna go into all that, but it was a good show. I think it was different for what it was. Snoop Dogg had one too called Dog Fizzle. It was a sketch show. What? I know he had a reality TV show too, Aries, Snoop Dogg, with it around his wife, kids, and stuff like that. It was on a similar scale to Run's House. Remember Run's House? MTV's Run's House? Oh, excuse me, Run's House. It was on a similar scale to that, dealing with family and learning about, you know, his kids and stuff like that. That's what I said. It wasn't necessarily Run's House, but it may have taken influence from that. And I thought it was really cool. I was like, this is a cool TV show. Like, yeah, I remember that. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, DMS, not DMS, excuse me, Snoop Dogg. Yeah, he had a show like that. He had another show too, by the way, where it was like focused on I want to say his oldest son and him being a football player. I can't think of the name of that show. I only seen it for like maybe 3 or 4 episodes or 5. I didn't see the whole series of it. I don't know if it's said on MTV or VH1, whichever one it is. You know, they tend to put out those type of shows. But yeah, that era of me watching that type of stuff, I still watch it, but I watch stuff like Shark Tank or Undercover Boss. You know, but yeah, and I used to watch Jerry Springer. So scripted. And Mari, you are not the father. When it comes to 7-year-old Emmanuel, what gets me is the guys that come up on the stage. That ain't my girl. She slept on all my homeboys. I'm like, man, Storage Wars. Yeah, I've seen that. I think my cousin used to watch the Storage Wars a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but reality TV I still watch, but lately stuff like Shark Tank or something on a different scale, not people, you know, doing all that crazy drama and all that stuff, you know. But yeah, Undercover Boss, I think that grew on me. I seen that randomly on my grandparents' house. I'm like, ooh, what's this Undercover Boss? Like your boss coming to your job, pretending to be the new employee, and then see what's going on at the particular place that you working at. Like you could be the lazy coworker. He might end up firing you when he find out, like, yeah, you was lazy. We letting you go. We gonna promote her. She gonna be the new manager. I'm like, boy, that undercover boss at all these jobs, we be in trouble for real. That'd be wild. They pop up at your job like, we was watching stuff crazy. Yeah, Mari, Jerry, Cops. Yeah, I remember Cops. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I remember Cops, Mad TV. Remember Mad TV from the 2000s? Mad TV was definitely on point, yo. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was invested on Mad TV. I think my cousin got me into it, my older cousin, like, you know, maybe I think 3 or 4 years older than me, got me into Mad TV. And I'm like, yo, this is funny. Like, I remember the episode they had with R. Kelly. That joke was so hilarious. Mad TV was way better than SNL. True. You're right. You're right. It definitely was. Mad TV. I remember they had the one where R. Kelly, come on to my house. Oh, and the girl had the little Girl Scout cookie. She's like, I was like, yo, yeah, Mad TV has some good ones. I like when they did R. Kelly. They did there was another person they made fun of. They made fun of people all the time though, but I think Mad TV, what's up, Chappelle was good with that R. Kelly. Yeah, he was. David Chappelle, yeah, Chappelle show. Yeah, man, you know, it's crazy. As rumor was, they wanted David Chappelle to come back to do a new TV show. And I know he turned down the money and everything, you know what I'm saying? They ended up having these Netflix comedy specials, which is really working out for David Chappelle. I'm really glad that he decided to do comedy specials on Netflix. They paying him extremely well. He's the highest paid comic on Netflix. But it was talks about him doing another TV show. I mean, I don't know if he'll still ever do it, but yeah, Chappelle's show has some funny episodes. Remember the episode where they had Real Life? Remember that TV show that used to come on MTV where the people did? And the dude was like, yeah, I met with Becky, and me and Becky are about to do something together. The dude was like, that's my girl. Then they did one on Making the Band. That was a class. Yeah, man, boy, the Chappelle show was funny, man. Mad TV was too, man. Yeah, especially the David Chappelle episode where this is a lost episode. Remember, he had the lost episodes where he was getting revenge on everybody. He told this girl like, "Oh yeah, I missed you." He brought the girl to the airport. He's like, oh, I want you to meet my wife and my kids. Gotcha. I was like, yo. And then he threw the other dude down the stairs. I said, boy, this is crazy. Yeah, man, it's interesting. Yeah, Comedy Central is definitely it's changed. You know what I'm saying? Like after David Chappelle, we had Key and Peele. That didn't really last too long. You know, so I think it did like maybe I want to say, and I'm not really for sure, maybe 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons. But yeah, David Chappelle definitely was one of those shows that was really watched. I remember going to school talking about the episodes and stuff. Man, I remember the episode with Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady at the choker. When Wayne Brady was out here doing that most outlandish stuff, I was like, oh my God. And the one with what was the one where he was cracking up with the when he went back in time? Man, yeah, David Chappelle was definitely having his time. There's probably still comedy shows out. But unfortunately, you know, some are more sitcom based. I remember watching what is the other show? Speaking of Bernie Mac, remember Everybody Hates Chris? That was good. That was really good. That's actually back. It's a continuation, but just in the animated forms on Comedy Central. People want to check it out. Everybody Hates Chris with him still. It's continuing the story from the previous season, but just animated. You know, so it's interesting. The other thing I miss about the 2000s, let me see. I'm trying to figure out. Or maybe the 90s. I would say in the 90s, excuse me. Malls. Let's talk about malls, man. Yeah, let's talk about the malls. A lot of malls that's in my state, some of them are closed now. Or on the verge of closing. I know for a fact we went to Lakeside Mall. That closed officially the summer before last. Gone. I was like, yo, they packing malls up. Eastland Mall was another mall that they closed. You know, it wasn't close near me. Northland, we got up 3 here. One of them is really, yeah, man, malls, boy. The mall that's closest near me, like maybe 2 or 3 cities over, they got rid of their Macy's. I don't know how that's gonna survive without Macy's. They got JCPenney's in there, but how can it survive without Macy's? I'm like, Macy's people tend to go in there. Don't get me wrong, JCPenney's people do too, but you shutting down Macy's? Yeah, man, malls are on the decline, man. You know, people don't really go to malls like that, man, where you can order stuff online. Another thing I miss with gaming, now that you mention it, now that come to think of it, it's harder to find video games now. Has anybody else been going through that? I went to see if they had this one game in general in the store, and it was the week of when it came out. No game. They had all these other game releases out and everything. And I'm like, where are y'all new releases? None of the new releases were at the store. I kid you not. And I'm just like, this is why y'all not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? Especially places like a GameStop or something like that. But yeah, I went to the store. I went to Target one time. They didn't have the releases. Went to Best Buy that one time. They didn't have the releases. I'm like, so you guys just don't have releases when it comes to that? Yeah, midnight release. I missed those 2 areas. I did one midnight release. That was it. I think I only did one midnight release. Only when I want to say it was Halo. Might have been Halo. Might have been Halo. And I did that when GameStop was early around. Yeah, midnight release. I do miss that, man. You took it back. Yeah, gaming. You know, to be a gamer now, hard to find games. That's why I stay going on Amazon. Amazon be having the releases. You just gotta order it at a decent time. If not, you're not gonna get it into the second week. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, man, you think like, man, game releases did have midnight releases. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, but I think malls, are going to be replaced with strip malls. That's what it seems like. That's where they're kind of going with this. Like, hey, I think it'll only be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 malls that may still be around. But yeah, all the other malls that we had some are on the verge of closing anyway. Another one mall was like, yeah, bought by this state. And I'm like, you're not even from here. They buying malls, right? But yeah, malls, man. I think people just don't go to the mall anymore. I noticed that like the last couple years, I'm like, man, people don't really go to the mall like that no more. You know what I'm saying? You would go to the mall, it'd be crowded, packed. You go, but nowadays you have to go. It's kind of like it's not really as a lot of people in the mall. Now during the holidays, that's a different story though. But yeah, going to the mall, man, it's different, man. It's different experience. I don't really find clothing that much when it comes to the mall. Most of the time, every now and then it's rare, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But sometimes I find stuff online and it don't be in the stores. I'll be like, okay, I go to Hot Topic, right? I go on Hot Topic website. I see stuff on Hot Topic website that's not even in the store. I'm like, this is odd. Only ever in the mall for the holidays as a last resort. I understand, man. Like, it's not the same no more, man. It's different. It's like, well, what's the point of going, right? But yeah, the mall definitely has changed, and I understand why you don't go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? There's like, it's definitely last resort. You know what I'm saying? What else could we talk about? So I talked about that. Talked about this. I miss this, and early Bluetooth. Remember the early Bluetooth headsets where you just stick it on your ear? I miss those, man. I remember when I first got a Bluetooth headset, boy, putting in that 000. I got it from Radio Shack. That was my spot, Radio Shack. I miss that place. That was the place I would go get that and do the Bluetooths. But now Bluetooths are a lot easier, man. Look what the Bluetooth is now. Now that we speaking of Bluetooth, look at this. This is a Bluetooth headsets, and it comes in this little case, right? Yeah, man. Bluetooth used to just be the little thing around the ear. Yeah, man. Radio Shack was my spot, bro. I remember I used to go to the mall. My partners be like, bro, we know you going to Radio Shack. Like, yeah, if you don't see me in Hot Topic, go find me in Radio Shack or Sears. I remember one partner like, yeah, bro, I know you in there. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, but I just saw about Radio Shack. Yeah, Radio Shack has some stuff in there, man. I heard they're back on the come up. Them and Toys R Us. Yeah, Toys R Us is coming back. I'm not talking about in Macy's. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, Macy's got Toys R Us. I'm talking about like an actual store. They actually got a store coming here in my state and some of the other states as well. Man, Toys R Us, boy, that brought back memories, man. I'm like, I hate that no one bought Blockbuster. Like, I can't believe Netflix had the opportunity to purchase Blockbuster, and they said no. They said, we not buying Blockbuster. I'm like, y'all could have made millions. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Blockbuster and Netflix together? You can rent content, stream it. Netflix wasn't thinking. Netflix like, nah, bruh. We ain't saving Blockbuster, bruh. Yeah, man. Yeah, Radio Shack is coming back. Toys R Us. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be watching out for Toys R Us. You know what I'm saying? That's the Toys R Us was definitely yeah, Blockbuster was, man. I miss it. I miss going to Blockbuster, man. I'm like, dang, I remember the last time I went. It was, I didn't know it was going to be my last time, though. I was sitting there like, dang, I bought my last movie. I'm like, but yeah, so let me see, what else do I miss? I do enjoy anime, but I miss when it wasn't as popular as it is now. Because in the 90's, That's when anime kind of broke out in the US and probably in some other places too. But now with anime being the more dominant thing that people are watching, kids, teens, adults, even older adults, it seems like it's a high demand for it. And it seems like anime nowadays, they're pushing it out there. Don't get me wrong. But the problem is like a lot more people have a demand for it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of miss when it was popular here, but it wasn't popular like it is now. You know what I'm saying? So I miss that aspect of it. I don't hate it though. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like, oh, he hates him. Like, I don't hate it. It's just I wish it wasn't like that because it seems like they putting out stuff, but not everything is good. You know what I'm saying? Everyone had a Toys R Us memory. Yeah, man, Toys R Us, Kmart. Yeah. Yeah, Kmart was the spot too, man. I remember we had Kmart, Super K. That was like I guess you could say the Walmart version of Kmart, had a bit more to offer. Yeah, Kmart was the spot though. Kmart was, man. We had Kmart's throughout my state. But it's kind of sad, you know what I'm saying? I thought for sure they would last a bit longer going forward, but they didn't. So pretty much they ended up having to do something else with Kmart. I was like, man, that's crazy. Because Kmart, to me, had its sales and everything, sold DVDs, video games, all that stuff. But yeah, I thought Kmart would be around like Walmart is. To think about it, when I think about it, I'm like, Walmart is still strong. Because I know 2 cities over from where I live at now, they're talking about making a new Walmart. Walmart is the place to go now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Literally, I'm like, man, like Walmart definitely came in and actually said, hey, look, we sell these type of products. Come here and buy these type of products. And I thought Myers, excuse me, when it came down to it, would be on a similar scale too. I'm like, well, Walmart's doing really good. Why not Kmart? But yeah, man, that's interesting for sure, man. Another thing I do miss is when it comes to when you would buy movies. Remember when you would buy movies and you would have like trailers for like upcoming movies and stuff like that? You still have them now, but not as often. Like they'll have movies that really catch your interest. Like, oh yeah, I might go check that out. You know what I'm saying? Or say coming soon to DVD. Nowadays I would say we would have the DVD releases, and I just thought about this: the home DVD releases. Some home DVD releases were really good. Now that I think about it, certain movies, I'm like, okay. For a home release and not a theater release was really good. I think the one movie I didn't like that was a home release was Smoking Aces 2. Terrible movie. I was like, what on earth? Like, don't get me wrong. Smoking Aces 1 was a really good movie. 2 was just trash. I was like, y'all made it 2, turned it into a home release. Oh, we ain't putting this in theaters. Yeah, y'all knew not to put it in theaters because it was terrible. Waste of money. It was a bad movie. Yeah. Yeah, Smoking Aces. Yeah, it was trash. Yeah, man, definitely trash, bro. I was hurt. I was like, why y'all give me this darn sequel? Get it well, I wasn't gonna live up to the hype. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, some movies don't need home releases. That's one thing I learned when I got that movie. I'm like, I thought it was gonna be good because I saw the first one. That was just my expectation. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the second one will do good. No, I threw that DVD away. I threw it in the trash. Yeah, but that aspect of it. What is another thing that I miss about the early 2000s? I guess you could say some of the food places. When it comes to certain places, I remember KFC. I don't know if you guys remember when KFC had the twisters and stuff like that. Man, those twisters were so good. You had the chicken inside the twister, cheese. I want to say like a mayo or a ranch, lettuce in there. Ooh, I used to bite. You open it up and bite right into it. Man, they had some good twister wraps. I miss Quiznos. Remember Quiznos subs from back in the 2000s? Man, Quiznos was way better than Subway. Hands down, yo. Like Quiznos, that was my spot. I used to love them little snackers. Yeah, man, snackers, man. Yeah, man, those snack wraps was good, man. Popcorn chicken. That was the time I was going to KFC. I haven't had KFC in years, y'all. I know they brought the potato wedges back. Taco Bell had a fire menu back then too. Wow, yeah, man, menus change up. What did I get from Taco Bell? I used to get the dessert. Quiznos, yeah, man, Quiznos was, man. I miss Quiznos. I'm like, dang. I remember the last time I went to Quiznos, man, and then never think I would not ever see a Quiznos again. And the only Quiznos we got, and I don't even know if it's still in the hospital, but it's a Quiznos downtown. Used to be. I don't know if it's still there or not. Inside the hospital. That was the only place you get Quiznos because all the other ones were shut down. I'm like, yeah, Quiznos, they had some really good food. No denying it. Like I said, I love their bread. They have some really good bread textures. And I love how they used to cut your bread. How did you want to cut it open for you and stuff? You know, put the chicken in there. You know, got the cheese. You got the dressing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever type of dressing that you're going to put on there. Cheese. And I love how they had the little toaster oven. They slide it right in the toaster oven for you. I was like, yo, Quiznos was like, you know, the thing, man. Yeah, I remember I used to tease my granddad because he was more of a Subway person. I'm like, they ain't touching Quiznos. Because Quiznos to me was better. Only thing Subway had going for me was them cookies. Subway got some fire cookies. Get you a chocolate chip cookie. I'm telling you. But Quiznos, yeah, that was my spot. I was disappointed when I heard they closed them. I'm like, like, why y'all close this place, man? Tubby's is decent too. I think Tubby's is actually I would say like next level under Quiznos. They were good too. Tubby's too. We got Tubby's here, not a lot of them like we used to, but yeah, there was a Tubby's in our movie theater that we had and stuff like that, and it was pretty good. Subway, Madonna, yeah, something, man. I'm telling you, Subway has some good cookies, man. I tried that caramel apple cookie. Ooh, that cookie was so good. I like that chocolate chip too. But that caramel drizzle apple cookie, man, it's on another level. I remember I went in Subway last year, and the young lady was like, "You're not getting no sub?" I'm like, "No, I'm just getting cookies." That cookie's that good? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, shoot, the cookies slap. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I convinced her to get some cookies. She had never tried Subway cookies, man. I want some. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. It's crazy, man. Yeah, cookies, man. I was like, boy, Subway. I don't know what they did to some cookies, boy, but boy, that was addictive. Also, I miss Pizza Hut. Remember Pizza Hut? Man, I miss Pizza Hut. Now, we got one, but it's not in my city anymore. It's like a city over. No, 2 cities over. I miss Pizza Hut. Used to go faithfully to Pizza Hut. Like early 2000s. I mean, when I was able to like go other places in the neighborhood, in my old neighborhood, your boy was at Pizza Hut. Let me get them boneless barbecue breaded wings. Let me get some ranch with that. Oh yeah, by the way, Add some cheese sticks with that too. Boy, those wings were so darn good, boy, but it would be messy on your hands though. The wings, but they barbecue wings was they slapped every single time. Every single time I got them. Give me a ranch. Don't let my Pizza Hut plug be there, boy. She be hooking me up. Yeah, I had a Pizza Hut plug, y'all. I ain't never talked about that. I might do a story time on that. But yeah, she was cool though. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was a teenager, by the way. I haven't been to Pizza Hut in 10 years. Last time I went, it wasn't good. Ah, man, that sucks. I know the feeling, man. You know, sometimes you go to a place that you haven't been to in years and turn out to be straight dookie. I know the feeling. I know. I've been to Arby's. As a matter of fact, I used to love Arby's. I went the last 2 times. Nope. I would never go back to Arby's. Yeah, my sandwich, the last time they did my sandwich, they did me dirty. I was like, damn, I'm thinking my sandwich was subpar, all right? They do mayo on my sandwich. I ain't even asked for no mayo on my chicken sandwich. I'm like, can I get honey mustard? Do mayo on there. Mustard. Like, who eats mustard on a chicken sandwich? Like regular mustard, not honey mustard, regular mustard on my chicken sandwich. I'm like, then the other time was the corn. They had the corned beef sandwich I would get, and they messed that up. So I was done with Arby's. Pizza Hut I tried 3 years ago. Been a long time though, and it was a decent experience. I Arby's every once in a while. I usually only get the chicken sandwich, snack sandwich. Don't really appeal. Yeah, it's not the same no more. Yeah, Arby's. I used to love Arby's. I'm not gonna lie. Let me get a Jamocha shake with that chicken bacon Swiss sandwich. No tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? With a medium curly fry. I actually did have one with the turkey bacons. Yeah, man. You know what? They other turkey sandwich was good. I don't know if you tried their. This was a summer sandwich. I don't know if they brought it back. It was a turkey gravy sandwich from Arby's. Woo! That sandwich, I bit into Aries. The gravy was delicious. When I looked at it, I'm like, ugh, it don't really look appealing. But when I bit into it, that sandwich was on point. I was like, what? By looking at it, you like, it might be all right, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. But once I bit into it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Oh, the texture was good. The taste of the gravy was very unique. I don't know what they did with it, but the gravy was grayish looking. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Arby's used to be my spot though, man. Not no more though. And they bought Buffalo Wild Wings. You seen that? I'm like, where you get this money from, Arby's? Y'all buying Buffalo Wild Wings? Shouldn't Buffalo Wild Wings be buying y'all? Because there's more of them than it is Arby's in my state, I think. Literally. Yeah, a lot of Arby's have been closing up. One of my cities closed up, I would say a few years ago. And I'm kind of glad they did because it wasn't really good anymore. Order would get messed up all the time. Yeah, it just wasn't the same. Oh, yeah, the turkey bacon sandwich. I never tried I tried their summer turkey sandwich. It was so good. And it was, like I said, the regular turkey meat, lunch meat. It hit. I was like, yo. And then they didn't bring it back. I don't know why they didn't bring it back. It was good. Because I've seen people ordering it when I ordered it, when I first got it. But they never did bring it back. And I'm just like, how dare y'all? How dare y'all not bring this sandwich back knowing that it's so good? You know what I'm saying? To me, it was. But I would go for that Jamocha shake. They got good curly fries. Onion rings, they're decent onion rings. You know what I'm saying? If you're an onion ring type of person. The cheeses were pretty on point. You know, like I said, the last couple times. Yeah, but it's interesting that Arby's owns Buffalo Wild Wings. What is another thing I miss about music? Oh, I miss when music used to have documentaries. I I think the last artist that did that in recent years was J. Cole. One thing about J. Cole, I love that he did documentaries with his albums. It was like more personal because you got a chance to see behind the scenes, him in the studio, like, delivering lines or where he wanted the producer to go. I miss those type of documentaries where artists were a little bit more personal in sharing about what they did with the music or the inspiration behind it. That is something that's missing. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I definitely miss it. I'm like, man, it'd be great if they brought that back where your favorite artist does a documentary before they drop the album. You know what I'm saying? If they don't do a commercial. But yeah, J. Cole, I hope he does that with the next album that he got coming out this year. I would like to see him do like another documentary. Another one before they didn't do a documentary. It's kind of like episode, like he did like a YouTube vlog series on it, I'm saying, like just putting the album together and stuff, which is cool. I'm not mad at him for that, but I'm like, dang, J. Cole, it would be nice to see you do another documentary, you know what I'm saying? Just to understand the process behind making the album, how you process the songs, and maybe him just interacting with his artists and just different things that take place. But if he doesn't, that's fine too. I'm not mad at him for that. But yeah, I like documentaries. Let me see what else. Man. Okay, I said that. So the other thing. I miss when Little Caesars had the $5 hot and ready's. Because now hot and ready's are $8. Ain't that crazy? You go to Little Caesars, you pay $8 for a hot and ready. I remember when hot and ready's was $5. That's all it was, $5, straightforward. Now hot and ready's are $8, literally. I'm like, hey, this better be the best hot and ready I ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you want hot and ready? It's gonna be $8. $8. Yeah, I mean, they used to, you clean up doing hot and ready, you know what I'm saying? Get your 3 hot and readies, you know what I'm saying? If you're like a family function or something like that. I remember low key, Gardner White. No, Art Van, excuse me. Art Van, if you went on Sundays, right? They had this area where they had the hot and readies, and you get, hot and ready slices from Art Van for the free. Just going around shopping, looking at furniture and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting for sure. Another thing that I miss is the early 2000 movies. When it comes to like superhero movies, remember when the first Spider-Man movie came out with Tobey Maguire? Man, it's something about the early 2000 movies that were really cool about them. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America. Those movies, just the visuals, the storytelling, and even just the actors getting into the role of the character. I remember when I went to go see Spider-Man, the very first movie, man, very memorable moments. It felt like a freaking comic book. Like just seeing all the different things he was doing throughout the movie, that was really well polished. And I really like that element. You know what I'm saying? It's still there. You know what I'm saying? I saw that with Blue Beetle, by the way. Blue Beetle had some of the earlier tastes on it. They don't make them like they used to. Yeah, man, it's changed for sure, man. Yeah, superhero movies now, they don't really, if the character's already well known, they don't do origin stories anymore. Kind of weird, man. Now, I think they will when it comes to certain characters, because maybe somebody might not be familiar with them. But I do miss that era of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can go watch Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movie. I watched that quite a bit. The first movie, the second movie, even the third movie. And even the Hulk. The second Hulk movie was really good. I really enjoyed that. The Incredible Hulk. The first one, nah. Saw it with moms, but I didn't care for it too much. It was okay for what it was. I'm like, they could do better. You know what I'm saying? Captain America. Yeah, I think maybe it's the writers involved, and maybe just people that are the producers of it are looking for something different now when it comes to these movies. But I mean, there's still good superhero movies out here. You know what I'm saying? Here and there. You know what I'm saying? There's some good, some bad. But yeah, man, that was a time for sure, man. Superhero movies were definitely a thing. I remember going to see Batman, the second Batman movie, with Heath Ledger. Man, after that movie ended, people were crying, people were clapping, because it was so good. Like he really got into the character of the Joker. And it was unfortunate that he passed away. I'm like, man, like his talent. he had potential to be a great actor, you know what I'm saying? Like going forward to do more movies, and he went out with a bang with that Batman movie. The second one, Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. Man, I was just like, just couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like just to hear that. Yeah, it was, man. Yeah, I went with my best friend, his homegirl, and another homegirl of his, from his school, and we all went to go see it together after his open house, and that was interesting. I had never done that. Like after open house, like, hey, let's just all go to the movies. I'm like, is he like, yeah, you want to go see that? I'm like, really? Like we leaving? After this is taken care of? He's like, yeah, like let's go see that. We met up with his friends and we went to go see the movie, and overall the movie was enjoyable. Enjoyable. Like I said, that experience was different though, man. Like you said, man, people were crying in the theater. I think the last time I seen people crying in the theater was another movie. It wasn't superhero though. It was some other movie. And I'm like, yeah, man. Sometimes you go to movies, people be crying and you know what I'm saying, clapping, you know what I'm saying. Um, yeah, the movie experience now is somewhat the same, but not as much. I guess it just really depends on the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a big enough crowd to go see it, you might get that. You know what I'm saying? People crying or clapping. But yeah, definitely interesting for sure though. What is another thing? Oh, I miss when you could buy comics, man. Remember when you could used to buy comics off the WADL magazines and stuff? I used to collect S-Man comics. And had the one-time subscription fee for like as many S-Man's comics I could get. Um, that eventually ended. I don't know exactly when it ended, but it was fun though. Like I said, I collected a lot of different ones. I don't even have them anymore. Had one with Iceman on there. I think Rogue, Wolverine, Magneto. You know what I'm saying? It was Marvel based. Like it was some type of company that did the comics. Excuse me. And literally what they would do is literally they would have a subscription fee. Like you would sign up for it and stuff like that. It reminds me of remember Game Informer and a monthly electronics? I'm taking it back. And Nintendo Power. You know, I did those as well too. Yeah, man, magazine subscriptions are, that's not really a thing anymore. You know, back in the 90s and 2000s it was, and maybe 80s, I'm not really for sure. But man, magazines for video games and also video game consoles was a thing. You know, I would go get the magazine just to look at the page for the next upcoming games, or, where I go in Myers or Target, pick it up, buy it, you know what I'm saying, just to see, because sometimes they would have the strategy guide in there and stuff like that. But yeah, man, magazines, man, they got them now, but they're digital. You know, so they got the digital magazines where you can just download it on your phone. You know what I'm saying? You can look at it on your phone and stuff like that. It's very interesting, for sure. But yeah, so, this has definitely been fun. I wish I would have got more people to come through, but I know people will probably afterwards too. I just want to say this is the first episode of this called the Blerd Conversation. I'm thinking about doing this again, maybe next month for sure. You know, like I said, it'll probably be once a month type of thing. But thanks to Texas Fitness 52 for coming through. And also thanks to Aries for coming through as well. Did you guys have anything else that you want to consider before me ending it out? It was anything else that was nostalgic? Because all I was doing was going down memory lane about these different things. When it comes down to it, it was fun, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, it definitely was. Like I said, I promoted it. But like I said, if people can catch the replays, gladly appreciate it, guys. But this is it, guys. Thanks again. I will be back with another the Blerd Conversation. Like I said, it won't always be on the same stuff. I think the next one's gonna be a lot different, but in a good way though. But this is it, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and I am out.